Good morning, Fractal Effects team. We're just following the market from the early session, so if you're just joining us, make sure you read the disclosure in the description of our YouTube channel and on the footer section of fractaleffects.com. If you're following along with us, make sure you're doing a demo account, as this is for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. So we have a double break on all the indices to the downside. Tuesday failed to set the low. We're sitting in a daily fair value gap, no news today. So most likely heading for that NWOG. But what happens after a double break? We wait for a retracement and then a setup to go short. But now the fact that we are inside, the fact that we are inside of these higher time frame PD arrays, we could get a reversal, so we got to proceed with caution. There's a 4-hour in here. Let's get rid of that one. It's a 15-minute. So we're sitting inside that daily. Close to getting a bearish confirmation as well. US 30 was the first one to give us a double break to the downside. We had a double break here, retracement back to one of our key zones, and then this is the first presented fair value gap on the 5M. So if the market comes back in here, I'd be interested. Just got to paint it out properly. So 1 minute 47 seconds left. I want to see this fair value gap stay open, get tapped, and then previous day's low would be my target right inside this 4-hour fair value gap. But again, just got to proceed with caution. We are sitting inside of a daily fair value gap on NAS and a 4-hour fair value gap on US 500. So giving us a double break to the downside. Just got to remain patient now. 17 seconds left. I want to see this bearish confirmation stick. 2, 1. Yeah, so we got our bearish confirmation. Or no, I guess we didn't. Took it away last second. But we do have a fair value gap here on US 30. This becomes our area of interest now. This double break came pretty late in the game. We had a break and then a 5M fair value gap. And no fair value gap presented on US 500, just some consolidation. So we were looking for the market to bounce here and potentially head up from here, even though we had a mixed model sell. And then it finally cut through. So I'm going to paint out this area right here. Once we get a bearish confirmation in the spotlight, once we get a bearish confirmation in the spotlight strategy, this area becomes our area of interest because we already did an early retracement. So the market might not want to push past this zone. US 30 back at that fair value gap of interest now. Excuse me. So I'm going to drop down to the 1 minute. The 1 minute I want to see expansion met with expansion, and then 1 minute fair value gap. Excuse me. One minute left. Let's see if this bearish confirmation sticks this time. So this is a high resistance liquidity run. We do have a lot of higher time frame PD arrays in front of us, but there's some good targets down here. There's the new week opening gap. Again, there's no news today, so the market likes to revert back to fair value. Fair value is usually new week opening gap, new day opening gap, or even true day open. So it's already tapped these. There's your new day open. Your new day opening gap. There's your true day open. And then both NAS and US 500 look like they're heading for the NWOG, but we got to get the right setup. If NAS just keeps dropping and it doesn't come into this fair value gap, I'm not interested. And for US 30, right now US 30 is the most interesting. It's given us a lot of things. And we're just waiting for that 1 minute fair value gap setup. So there's your spotlight confirmation, bearish. Now we got double breaks across all indices to the downside, and we got bearish confirmations. It's just about the proper entry now. I still like US 30 more. With US 500 and NAS need to come back into at least this fair value gap and then show us what they want to do from there. US 30 pushing even higher. So if we take this top, then I'm going to jump back up to the 5 minute fair value gap. 5 minute time frame. Slow and easy. Remain patient. Remember, without a foothold, you can't climb a mountain down or up. So until NAS and US 500 come back into these fair value gaps, this is just a runaway market. We can't catch a runaway market. We don't want to. When we don't chase the market, we stalk it. This is where I'm stalking it. I want to see it come back into this fair value gap, touch this 20, and then give us a setup. US 30 is kind of already there. I just want to see a 1M bearish fair value gap. I want to see it get tapped. And then we will most likely take this all the way down to this 4-hour fair value gap, previous day low. That yellow line right there is previous day's low. The fact that we're sitting inside these big higher time frame PD arrays, just got to be cautious. We don't want to see a 10 o'clock reversal. We want the 10 o'clock 4-hour candle to be a continuation of our setup. So NAS has already hit the NWOG. That was kind of my low-hanging fruit. US 500 still looking good. US 30 still looking good. Plus, NAS never came back into this first presented fair value gap here. Now, when I'm looking for my final setups, I don't like liquidity voids. Some people will take a liquidity void. That's not a fair value gap. It's not the same. I want to see an actual fair value gap. The spotlight strategy paints them out for you, so it's not difficult. You just got to go back in and make sure it's perfect. Let's make that red. Now this is my area of interest. I want to see the market come back and tap this. 6 seconds. And get rid of this 4-hour fair value gap. Don't need that anymore since we've already come into this one. If US 30 keeps dropping, then it keeps dropping. That's fine. This is now my area of interest. This is where I want to see the market come back into. I'm actually even going to stretch this. Now, if there is a liquidity void with your fair value gap, that's fine to paint that out. But make sure there's a fair value gap behind it. Still just waiting. Takes off without us, it takes off without us. Still no foothold. Still not interested. Remember, these setups happen every single day. Not to mention we're looking at 3 different indices here. So if you're looking at this every single day out of 3 indices and none of them are giving you your setup, that's fine. That's actually rare. You'll find a setup. So if you miss a day or 2 here, remember, day trading is not everyday trading. It's fine. You look for the perfect setup. If it creates another fair value gap down here, I'm not interested. It's this or nothing for me. Remember, this is all an algorithm. And you can tell on days when they don't want you to be a part of it. That's what the whole point of a runaway market is. A runaway market, you can't chase it. They don't want you to get in. They'll come back to fair value maybe tomorrow or the next day. But there's some days they don't want you to get in. Guess what? Those days, stay out. They're almost letting you know that we're going to give you major manipulation. If it can't come back and touch this fair value gap, and it creates like another fair value gap here or a liquidity void, then they don't want me to get in, which is fine. Because remember, the market translator, the first thing it does, it protects your capital. That's our primary goal, capital preservation. Then we make money. Still waiting it out. None of these fair value gaps have been tapped yet. None of this is interesting yet. Not to mention we're sitting in the higher time frame PD arrays. They could just reverse on us. So I'm expecting it to get back up into these zones at the very least. And then we'll see. We'll see if it's worth my time. That's how you got to look at the market. Too many people chase the market. You hear about these stocks that are going through the roof. It doesn't matter. Let the market come to you. And if it doesn't, that's fine. That's the true definition of manifesting. Letting things come to you. Being prepared, knowing what to look for, knowing where to be, but then letting them come to you. Once you've done your job, the rest of it is up to the algorithm. Still waiting. These are the zones. US 30 went from being the most interesting pair to being the least. It keeps dropping. NAS and US 500 look like they're trying to push up. We'll see if they do. If they can manage to get back up into this zone. US 30 still on a tear. You might have just used this small little liquidity void here, but that's not what I was looking for. Mine has to be an actual foothold. Here's the thing. This is the best analogy here. These liquidity voids, since they're not true fair value gaps, they can easily get run. It's almost like if we're climbing a mountain and we're looking for a foothold, it's the tiniest little hole that you're trying to get your hand into or your foot into. That thing could just break on you, or you could slip right out of it. This is a good anchor point. Not to mention when I take a Fibonacci from high to low, it's a little past 61% right there. It's in the golden zone. That's why I want that retracement. NAS coming back into this fair value gap. Now let's see if it gives us a proper setup. I want it to hit this 20 EMA and give me a 5M fair value gap. Remember, US 30 was already ahead of us. It had already hit and gave us a 5M fair value gap and then a 1. These two have not. So I still need that same setup. I want it to come in here, hit that 20, give me a 5M bearish fair value gap, and then we'll drop down and look for the 1. US 30 has not left any other fair value gaps down here. So maybe I'll get pulled up right when US 500 or NAS pull up. Six minutes till 11. Still just patiently waiting. Here comes NAS. I want to see expansion met with expansion. I want to see it hit the midpoint, wick up here, and then give me a bearish engulfing candle, and then a setup. Sorry, just having some issues with the screen here. Trying to make sure you guys can see everything. But here comes US 30. Nas taking its sweet time. So if US 30 just drops from this 20 EMA, again, not interested. Because remember, we're in reversal territory here. Now we got to see what happens here. Is it going to respect this fair value gap and give us a setup to go short, or is it going to rip right through here and potentially go all the way back up? Because we've hit this daily fair value gap and the NWOG. Hit this 4-hour fair value gap right here, exactly where the NWOG is. Not a coincidence. Told you, you'll always find levels that match up when you're looking for divergence. People are doing divergence wrong. They think because one asset diverged and did something that the other one didn't, that it means something. That's not how it works. If one asset hit a zone, like the new week opening gap, then you'll find an exact zone, similar zone, that the other asset hit. We hit this 4-hour fair value gap, exactly where this NWOG was. Not a coincidence. You think it's a coincidence that we're coming all the way back up into here? That we're all the way back into this fair value gap? Do you really think that's buying and selling pressure? That's why we call this the market translator. It's translating the algorithm that runs the market. Doesn't mean that everybody gets it right, by the way. There's some people that still get FOMO. There are some people that still don't stick to the plan. If you stick to the plan, you wait for all points of confluence, you're fine. There we go, US 30, back at that fair value gap. Now let's see what happens here. And I still want to see a setup between these two. So still got some time, just stay patient. All right, I want to see NAS come up and touch this 20 EMA and go even a little bit higher. And like I said, I want to see expansion met with expansion. And then I'll drop down to a 1 minute. Look at US 30, pushing right past this zone. If it takes out this high, then I'm going to get rid of this fair value gap and we'll see if it gives us a new setup. And if all three of these violate these zones, that could be a reversal that we're looking at. So we got to proceed with caution. And we just took out that high. So US 30 already giving us signs. So we're going to go back up to the 5 minute here. So it's still staying within the boundaries of this 5 minute, but I need a new 1 minute now. US 500, also right at that 5 minute. Let's see what happens here. If it gives us that expansion met with expansion after it hits the 20 EMA. Same thing with NAS. It's getting a little exciting now though. US 30. Looks like it's having some reaction here. Let's see. Still no setup on any of these. Looks like US 30 wants to push through. We already got a fair value gap here, so again, proceed with caution. But first things first, it hasn't trapped us here. There's nothing here that matches our confluence yet. US 500 pushing past that fair value gap. That's why this could be a reversal. Since we already have double breaks to the downside and a bearish confirmation from all three indices, I'm not interested in trading a reversal. So if we take out these highs here and here, this is most likely a reversal and we'll pass on this, conclude our session. Just got to stay patient though. So we're getting some reaction here. US 30 still pushing. This might be our first sign that there's a reversal coming. Could just take out this high here, hit the 50. We'll see. Since we have all this confluence to the downside, we're only looking for a sell. So I'm not worried about a reversal just yet. All I need to see is if we get that expansion met with expansion in a 5M bearish fair value gap. Until we see that set up, there's nothing we need to do. And again, if we don't get that set up, then it's a reversal. Simple as that. So again, just remain patient. It's US 30 still pushing. I want to see if it takes out these highs and then has a reaction there. So we're getting a reaction here now on US 30. NAS as well, and US 500. But first things first, I want to see an engulfing candle, then we'll drop down to the 1 minute. About 20 minutes left in our window of opportunity. Let's see if it gives us anything. Looks like we might be getting a 5M fair value gap in here. Let's see. It's late in the game, that's what I want to see. Without that, we don't make a move. Sometimes you got to paint a lot of boxes, but name of the game. 3 minutes, 19 seconds left. I want to see this fair value gap stay open. US 500 has nothing here. One minute, 44 seconds. US 30 might be pushing here. One minute left. Again, I want to see this fair value gap stay open. I want to see US 30 close down here. $16 seconds. This could be US 30 pushing now. Gotta close under here though. Nope. Maybe on this next candle. Slight close here. See what this next candle does. So NAS did leave us this fair value gap. This is our fair value gap of interest. This one isn't fully formed yet, so I'm not interested in that. US 500 hasn't given us anything yet. And I just want to see this one close. We'll say US 30. Doesn't want to close under. Let's see. So there's our foothold. I want to see mark come back into here. And 2 minutes 51 seconds. If it leaves this one open too, I'll cover that as well. So there's your closure. So here's the other thing too. When we get this series of closure, you want to make sure it doesn't leave a fair value gap behind on the 30-second even, or even on the 1 minute. Anytime it leaves a fair value gap behind, it wants to fill that before pushing. So yeah, it didn't leave one there. Just want to see what this thing's looking like on the 5 minute. When you see this kind of pattern, I'd like to see 2 candles close under that line, because that next one keeps pushing back up. Not to mention, we just briefly touched this 30-second fair value gap. So as these things drive up, it'll drive this one up too probably. Taking one more swipe at this 30-second fair value gap. Might even touch this. Let's see. If it takes out this high, then we're going to look for a new 30-second. 10 minutes left in our window of opportunity. It's close. Just looking for the right foothold. So this is a good sign. This wick is a good sign. If we close under here, that's one I might be interested in. Ten minutes left in our window of opportunity. That would be the stop loss. Right here, this red line. 43 seconds left. 14 seconds. We'll take that. At the very low to here. Since this is late in the game, that'll be our take profit. So remember, when you're using divergence, you want to take profit the second all of these take these lows. Whichever one crosses first, you take your take profit. Because as mentioned before, we're sitting in reversal territory. It doesn't mean that this can't get all the way down there, but see US 500 is crossing first. Let's see. There you go. You're done. All of them took it. So it was a short play, but at least we got one in right before the window of opportunity closed for us. And could, again, possibly run all the way down to the 4-hour, but we don't care. This late in the game, we wanted to just sneak one in. So that's it. We'll conclude our session there. Come back later, see if you did get a further push down or if there was a reversal in this area, because this is why it was the low-hanging fruit. We're sitting right in the 4-hour fair value gap, daily fair value gap, hit the NWOG. We just took out this low. Could push down further, but probabilities are decreased, especially the further we go into 11:30. So we'll conclude our session there. Please check us out on fractaleffects.com, where we teach high probability trading. Check us out on all the social medias at fractal.effects. Right now we're live Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. We do have some disruptions. Unfortunately, we weren't live yesterday due to some technical difficulties, but we'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.